You remove the fibers and you get down to the bowl where the soap exists. Take those same fibers. As you can see, soil has been impacted in the fibers during the growing season, so you have to rinse those in water. Keep them intact, and that's the end of your brush. One end is used as the brush, the other end you will bind and seal. You can use string to hold it together, and then you can dip it in. I use resin from the pine tree, but you could also cook down this actual bulb and it will make a glue that you can dip this in to seal the edge for your brush. Or you can bind it with string or resin or even beeswax. So here's beeswax and here is one with pine resin. This one's beeswax, and that is bound with cordage and pine resin. So we have it. A soap root brush. And cut across the base of the soap root here just to remove the bottom root portion. That will allow the scales to release a lot easier. So we'll take the scales and we'll set them out here to dry. These scales have been drying for a few days, and they were pulled fresh from this soap root. So the dried scales can be stored and later reconstituted in water to use as a bar of soap. So we have the dehydrated soap root scales here, and so I'm going to reconstitute them in water, just room temperature, and then we're going to see if we can get the saponins to exude and if the surfactants will create lots of bubbles on the surface of the water. So now we have the rehydrated scales from the soap root, taken off of the root, laid out to dry, and then reconstituted in water. So let's see what we get. Take the soap root. Actually, we'll make a scented. We could add fragrant rose geranium, or you could make a peppermint fragrance in your soap. You can use lavender, and something different, a citrus fruit tree leaf. So this is the leaf of a bergamot citron tree. So we'll start with the rose geranium, one of my favorites, and we'll put it in with the reconstituted or rehydrated soap root scale. I'm going to fold the fiber right over so that it creates friction so that we can see it soap up. And I can feel the creaminess in the soap so far. I feel it. Let's add some water. And I can smell it, and it's becoming creamy and soapy. So the friction really helps get the surfactants to exude from the plant. Look at that. So there we have it. So swish it around the water here. And we've got surfactants creating the bubbles on the surface. And that's from the one reconstituted scale that I just agitated. And here are the others, with the fragrance of rose geranium. Voila! So, after your soap root scales are completely dry, you can store them in an airtight container for later use. But remember, they must be absolutely, completely dry. There we are. Voila. For future use, natural soap, soap root.